Welcome back guys, to the last episode of 7th Prince anime, but previously we saw how terrifying the fight between two monsters were going on. Lloyd wasn't seeing any opening to beat Gurusarm because of his annoying teleportation attack and cursed speech, but when the river was vaporized Lloyd understood Gurusarm needs to know the location to trigger his teleport attack. So he started to analyze his teleportation ability to track him down and got the message from Jade. With it, he kicked the heck out of Gurusarm and was nearly done with the work. But Gurusarm pulled the ace move he was saving, which is to use mana from the atmosphere itself. It's a void attack this time that nothing could stop, but it just disappeared for some reason. That's just a big F, because Lloyd erased his void by hitting it with the same void. It reduces anything it hits into dust. Well, a long time ago he learned it by chance and tried it out. The power to reduce everything was insane. So Lloyd tried it out to hit the void with void, but upon hitting it just disappears. Gurusarm got the real shocker because a kid just pulled the strongest technique for experiment, and Lloyd was just as disappointed in Gurusarm as the results of those void collision. Gurusarm was pissed off because the ultimate move of Demon Lord was used for fun, but Lloyd just sneezes and Gurusarm got even more angry. But when he touched Lloyd, he saw the monstrous mana he possessed. No demon has this much mana. And now Lloyd targets Gurusarm with the voids, and on the other side, fog was heavy for the fight, and demons were unable to fight at full power. So the sharp sense users were taking advantage of it. Their Sylpha noticed the sweet scent in the air, and Ren told her she's using her poison-blighted power to target demons only, but it's still hard, and what's more is that it's morning already yet the sun is not up in the sky, because the sky was covered with a subspace for void that's eating up Gurusarm. He tried to escape but it's a lost cause now. He knew there's no escape so he tried to imitate Jade to convince them Jade is alive. He called out to the Assassin Guild for help as well, but everyone knew that Jade is dead. So Lloyd wraps up the show by reducing Gurusarm into nothing and the subspace disappeared and he saw Jade's soul fading away in happiness. Ren remembered Jade once told them about Lloyd and how he made a blast right after he was born, but incident was covered up by a firework being misfired, so Jade just thought if Lloyd was such a prodigy then he could one day save them from this curse and this hole. And his words came true and Lloyd made a grave for Jade and others, but nonetheless Lloyd really landed a void attack and tracked teleportation attack which was commendable. So when Lloyd deciphered the teleportation, he shifts himself in auto mode to dodge and track the teleportation. Grimm praised him for figuring out the Black Wolf attack, but to be honest, Lloyd took a huge risk to decipher the spell in the middle of the fight, but the deciphering was easy because the spell was laid out beautifully for him, all because Jade transcribed a complete spell and left for someone to find it out to defeat Gurusarm. So in reality it was Jade's win in this fight. Ran heard everything and wanted to show her gratitude, but then Albert gets there as he figured out it's a grave for Jade. He learned the whole story from Assassin Guilds how Jade rebelled against his clan for peace. Not only that, but they also told him how they lived so far and what they wanted, but the Assassin Guild was taken into custody because they committed a crime of killings and kidnapping a royalty and dragged him into a war. But to make amends, they all want to serve Lloyd from now on for their entire lives, and if they can't, they agree to accept any punishment and they are serious about their decision, which is why it's now up to Lloyd. Because if he accepts those criminals and they do something again, the blame will lie on Lloyd. So he can't make a decision on a whim this time because the royal family's name would be tarnished as well. Lloyd understands the risks and still he took their responsibility wholeheartedly. His conviction was crystal clear. But Albert then clears up what he means by doing all this is that to tell Lloyd that he should rely on others when he needs help because he's a little brother to him than a prince, whom Albert loves a little too much and snuggles him to spoil him rotten. But then suddenly, Tao came in after knowing Lloyd was missing, so she came to help. But she knew instantly from everyone's gaze that everything is already over, so she ran off again, and Albert followed her to thank her for the last time she helped. So Sylpha caught the runner and found Ren out there, and others were freed from the charges, and Albert organized a tea party for everyone, but others were nervous because the royalty lineup was too much, but Albert told them to act freely so Tao asks for tea from Sylpha, but she slipped the cup on purpose to pick a fight. And for adults, Albert had prepared drinks for them. At first they hesitated, but after a sip of it, their carefree drunk nature showed up. Albert was amazed with the party time with everyone, and their Talia tried out her luck on Albert to invite him for a drink, but he declined coldly, so Talia used her link magic to make him drunk as well. And after that he remembers and asked why Lloyd's clothes were drenched in his fluids and grabs Galio, and while the chumps were fighting, the river had become a hot spring, so Silpha princess and Ren dips in to relax. Silpha knew Ren has something to say, so Ren told her she wants to serve Lloyd alongside her to repay him for his kindness, but it's not Silpha's call, the decision lies with Lloyd, and Bro was present right there and he has no problem. Silpha dragged him out because he was dirty, but Ren was still under the impression that she's harmful, so Lloyd told her that if she could control her powers, her poison could be used to make medicines, which filled her heart with joy, and from that moment on, Ren began her new life as a maid serving Lloyd diligently with Silpha, and the peaceful life returned for everyone. And our anime ends right there, but if you haven't watched previous episodes, then I have made a playlist where you could watch all the episodes, link is in the description, so check out the previous episodes to understand the storyline. Till then, take care.